Hail, my Aquarius friends. Welcome to my channel. My name is Teri Hunter. I'm an intuitive astrologer. I'm a tarot card reader. I'm a psychic. I'm a life coach. I'm a spiritual teacher, and a lot of other things, I think. But here today to do a love and money reading for you for November 2024. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Star Tarot for your love reading. I'm going to use the Gilded Royale deck for your money reading and see what Spirit has to say for these two most very powerful genres of the human experience. So, let's jump right in. So, how the positions work is it's going to be a 4 card spread. The first position is going to represent the foundation of your love life, the foundational position, the vibration, the frequency, what's happening. The next is going to be the opportunity and or the obstacle. One coin, two sides. Every opportunity has an inherent obstacle, and every obstacle has an inherent opportunity. The third position represents Spirit's advice for getting around the obstacle, taking advantage of the opportunity. And then the final position represents the potential outcome. And I always say potential because we have free will. And we can always make a choice that is counter to the momentum that we start with. So here we go. For our Aquariuses, foundational position is Justice card. That's very Libra energy, very much partnership oriented. We have in the opportunity, the obstacle, the Queen of Pentacles. We have the Nine of Swords in the Angel's advice or Spirit's advice. And then in the final position, we have the Two of Swords. There is a decision on the books. There's absolutely some kind of evaluation going on, some sort of reconciliation, and meaning I'm looking at the situation. I want to reconcile how I feel about it. I absolutely think Aquarius is looking for balance of some kind. You're looking for fair treatment. You're looking for growth, and you're looking for intelligent emotional flow. Now we see the Queen of Pentacles, which is a woman who's a creator, an energy that is a creator. But this energy is a receptive energy. It is where the water element and the earth element come together. And here, this is where I feel like the water element is nourishing the growth of the Queen of Pentacles. She knows inherently that she must plant the seeds for what she wants to be manifested in the material. She also has the patience to water, to nurture, and to not over micromanage the situation. So now in the angel's advice, we have a decision based on, or a worry based on, are things growing? Is my garden being nourished? Do I feel a sense of solid dependability and flow? And then we have this Two of Swords, which is very much a reflective energy. We see the contrast of this character who sits at the top of the mountain, right? This hill that's been climbed, but a lot of the climbing comes from the psychological dynamic underneath. We also see all the stars that are reflected in the supposed water element, but I also think those stars speak of a certain destiny, a certain karmic destiny. So if I'm to look at this for my Aquariuses, I would say that a couple things could be potentially happening, because if you're in a relationship, you could be very much evaluating that relationship. You could be deciding if there's enough give and take, or if there is something that is out of balance. If you are not in a relationship and you have been single for a while, you could start to evaluate how you are viewing relationships. The Libra energy is about peace and harmony and fairness and justice. It isn't just about two people. So this would be a wanting to feel a sense of peace, a sense of justice, a sense of fairness, and wanting to be seen as somebody who has a solid footing. Aquarius can sometimes, in their innovation, Aquarius rules the nervous system, and oftentimes inadvertently defaults to that nervousness, which is indicated here by the Nine of Swords. Worry, worry, worry. There's no reason to worry. Worry is just a form of prayer that does not serve you. So this could be really where you are making a decision based on a more fair and just dynamic and something that brings harmony. I'm not necessarily seeing, again, the commingling of two energies in people as much as I'm seeing more the attitude and the concept of how we exchange energy within our love dynamic. So often we think of love as only intimate love, but intimate love has seasons and it ebbs and it flows. And I think that is, again, reflected in the Justice card. The Justice card is an 11. Whenever you see an 11 or a series of ones, you are seeing spirit alerting you to your thoughts are things, and they're manifesting very quickly. So when we understand that balance is not this, balance is this, and traversing that, then we need not worry so much about money and resources. And it's time to make a decision not to let the underbelly rule the physical, meaning the psychological imprint of yesteryear. I grew up in a family where well, I would say my single mother was always very desperate for love from a man, and I observed that in her behavior as a child, and I was very resistant to the Klingon energy of a woman because my mother was always like a stalker, kind of. They didn't have them back then because they didn't have the name yet, but she was part of the wave of people who would do that. So I bring that up only because there's an imprint of some kind for you, Aquarius, and you get to determine if that imprint is still valid or if it's expired, and you get to have a new, fresh platform. All right, let's look at your money. Money, 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 resources, flow, abundance. I have said for every sign that, the United States is going through a presidential election that's unprecedented in its polarities. And we're all focused on inflation and money, and the world has their eye on us. So we're all kind of on some level vulnerable to the dynamics of that affecting our personal lives. So let's see. Aquarius. We have the first tarot card is the Knight of Swords. The second is the Wheel of Fortune. The third is the Hanged Man. And the final is the Star. This would be very much be willing to continue to move forward through the icy tundra. You are being watched over by the eagle, represents this integrity, the connection to the angelic realm. Keep your thoughts where you need them to be. This is a little bit of a fierce energy. When we're looking at the Knight of Swords, oftentimes we see an energy that's very fast, appears very aggressive. In this particular one, I feel as if we're going to the edge. We're feeling like we're at the edge, and this could be you feeling like you're at the edge of all you can take monetarily. The Wheel of Fortune would indicate something is shifting. The wheel is always turning around, and depending where you sit on the wheel is what will, depending where you sit on the wheel, it sounds so random. You could be at the top of your game or at the bottom of your game. And a lot of it has to do with understanding the cycles, that when you're on the top of your game, that you will also have an opportunity that will look like an obstacle to redefine, to hone, to trust at a deeper level. And I think what that is the illumination that is reflected in the Hanged Man. In the Hanged Man here feels quite out of control because of the chains that bind him. And yet at the same time, when you look closely, it is the way his legs are intertwined within those chains that keep him bound. Now we see the spheres, the circular wheel that is around the bar. So that infers to me that there's something psychological going on here that you get to continue to soldier and be brave through, to step up, because the Star is offering faith and hope and something new on the horizon. Now, the Star is traditionally the card that represents Aquarius. It represents astrology. It represents faith. And here I feel like this is a faith in trusting there's a vulnerability in trusting the stars, in trusting what you know about you and about how you make your resources. There is an interesting dynamic here with this eagle leading me to the edge of the cliff of my belief system. And then I feel like there's so many spheres that are represented in the next three cards. Everything that's being offered to me, am I brave enough to focus in on what I want? Or am I stuck in the earthly sphere? This last underneath here almost looks like the planet Mars, potentially stuck in anger or frustration or in survival mode. Now, the hanged man is very much offering me an opportunity to see where I chain myself up inadvertently, where I tether myself to an idea because I've gotten confused through all of the way my feet have moved through these chains. And now I can only look to the inner part of me, being vulnerable to the flow of resources, being vulnerable to the idea that there are always stormy seas somewhere. But as I'm brave to keep my eyes on the thoughts of what I want to create, there's no actual money here for Aquarius. This is more, again, with three major arcana cards out of four. And with the one character, it's about assuming the position of the highest order of the Knight of Swords. So this is about being brave, about taking an intellectual approach, being aware of any of my harsh words, not just to others, but to myself about where I sit at this particular time. So, yeah, maybe this would be an evaluation for you of how you want to pursue making money in the future, or potentially pursue a side hustle of some kind where you're doing something you actually enjoy, but it's going to require a bit of bravery and putting yourself on the very edge of what you believe is possible. All right, that's it for November 2024. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, please subscribe, hit that notification bell. We're going to have lots of content coming out. Be sure to look for the November monthlies. They will be out. I don't know when I'm going to post this. It's mid-October right now, but they should be coming out shortly before or after these readings. So, all right, everybody, thanks so much. I'll see you next month. Have a lovely November. Bye.